Good morning and welcome to Mimosas in the Morning. I'm Leslie.
And I'm Holly.
And we are here today. We're going to highlight another one of AFI's Military Spouses of the Year.
Yep.
See, I'm working on that. I've been a little slow on the getting it correct, but today we have Samantha Joe, who is with for the National Guard.
For the National Guard, yeah.
Okay.
And so I have a little something for you.
Because she always has a surprise.
Yeah.
Here's yours.
Hopefully it comes on the time, because you know it never works whenever I want it to work.
Usually we get an ad, but it's all right.
Yep. Where did it go?
She's totally losing it.
Yeah.
She's almost there.
Yeah.
And there's the ad.
There's the ad. Unfortunately, it always does the ad first.
All right.
But since you're a doctor, do you know this song?
You are crazy.
Yep. Because we want a doctor
to give us the news.
To give us the news that our facials are going to be fine.
So we have to say,
I love it. I love this song. Do you remember this? I still remember getting the guitar for Halloween and like dressing all in black and red lipstick.
I have to say I never did that to this
Never
song,
did it?
But that's all right.
I just gonna say it. I do love you, Samantha. What do I call her? Yeah, how do you know Samantha now? You said it earlier.
Oh, what did I say? The doctor.
No, the shoes.
Oh my gosh, I heard you have a great shoe collection.
My husband doesn't know half of it yet when he gets home.
So, Samantha, I thought I'd dress up a little bit for you today.
Oh, geez.
Oh, it's upside down. Look at this. Look at my little mask. If I was a doctor, this is what I would do, people.
I need you here today. You could be
my gloves, and I'll be facializing you, making you so beautiful. I would have so much fun. Let me tell you. I told her she's going to show me the office because I would be like all about your coworkers. Let's bling out the facial stuff, right?
Yeah, we do a lot of cosmetics and we do fillers and Botox, but our main focus is skincare prevention or skin cancer. So we talk about sunscreen a whole lot and give people yearly exams just to make sure that they don't have, any abnormal moles or some of the more common kinds of skin cancer, basal cell or squamous cell.
Yep. Well, guys, we're in Florida. That is so. I told her, I said she needs to move here to help us.
But I almost wonder too. If people like in areas like us are maybe a little more cognizant to the fact that we have to protect ourselves versus somebody who may live further north who sits there and is like, oh, it's just winter, and then maybe not take care of themselves as much.
So that's a conversation because we're in Buffalo, New York. That's a conversation we have all the time, is that the long wave UV light is present both summer and winter. And it penetrates through car glass and window panes. So, a lot of the damage we see is on the left side of the face when it's coming through the driver's side windows. Fine lines, wrinkles, brown spots, that gray paper appearance. That's not chronological aging. That's all from environmental exposure. So a physical sunscreen, zinc oxide, titanium dioxide, those are, better products, where a lot of the chemical-based sunscreen that you find in moisturizers, those only last 1 to 2 hours, so you have to reapply. But that physical one stays until you wash it off.
Is that amazing?
So if that's your take.
You're telling me this all night because I'm like, are you going to make me pretty this year? I'm going to get rid of all my redness because Samantha's in my court.
Just make sure that you have what you need in your makeup bag.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm going to come back in May and I'm going to be shining.
Yeah. And then I'm going to sit there and put a bag over my head, so we'll be good.
No, you're always beautiful.
Okay,
so
thank you.
Samantha, it is your time to shine. I know we sent a few questions. Yeah. You can go which ones you want. What do you want to tell our audience? What is the National Guard? Who is Samantha? Because, we've only gotten to know each other for past, is it 5 weeks?
Yeah.
It's been like 5 weeks. And so tell me more so that I get to know you more, Leslie gets to know more, our audience. Tell us how. I know you're wonderful. I know that.
Well, I'm Samantha Gomolka, and I've been a military spouse for over 14 years. My husband, we've had kind of an interesting journey. He spent 4 years active duty with the 375 Ranger Regiment down in Fort Benning, Georgia. And when we met, he was going through the Q course, or the process of going to become Special Forces. So his time has been spent in the National Guard in his Special Forces unit. And it's been a really good life for us. And there's been many blessings and benefits, and the friends we've made. And, he's just really good at what he does. But along the way, when we were down at Fort Bragg and he was going through training, I got to see the active duty side component, where you're on a military base and you have that community of military families who know exactly what you're going through, and you don't even have to explain it. Switching over to the National Guard when he finished, it's a very unique situation because the spouses are all geographically separated. So, we live in New York and my friends live in Tennessee or West Virginia or Pennsylvania. So you lose that aspect of community in the military side of things. Now, I'll tell you that wherever we've lived, the civilians have just showered us with love and really wrapped themselves around it. And people want to get involved, if you tell them your story. So my process of, I was reading through your questions, and a lot is discussing my platform and how I'm going to use it. Honestly, it never started out that way. I never started out to be an advocate of anything. It was just my journey. And, there was the 2015 deployment that we went through. I was pregnant and I had 2 small children at home, and I was working full time. Whew. And I didn't have a tribe. We had a tribe when we lived in West Virginia, and then we moved home to New York. And that was a very challenging deployment, not having that support network. So during the 2016 deployment, I met the greatest group of military wives, and we were all on the same team, and we bonded together in a sisterhood. And even during the application that we sent for the contest, we had a text thread during that deployment where we exchanged over 19,000 text messages. It was just a running conversation all day. We crashed each other's phones. And it wasn't, sometimes it was about the boys. Hey, has anybody heard anything? But it was support and love and sisterhood. And some of those ladies I had never met until we actually made weekends where we got together with the children. But they knew me better than anyone that I locally. They just got it. And I think that's so important to have that support network. So, I've been on multiple Facebook pages or groups for the National Guard. And there's 2 very strong themes during the various posts. One is, lacking that sense of community. And 2 is, healthcare, how to understand our health insurance and TRICARE. And I've been very pleased with TRICARE. But I don't understand it all the time. I work in medicine. So I think that those are 2 points that I've kind of been zoning in on, is how do you develop that sense of community and even the FRG aspect of it in the National Guard, and how can I help influence or explain or change how we interpret, our healthcare system as a military family.
So this is a big question. And even Leslie and I were talking about this morning, and last night you met Caitlin, one of my other Marine Corps girlfriends, and she's like, I really don't know what the National Guard does. And, that's just sad. It was the same thing recently with our Coast Guards. We did the countdown to payday to bring awareness and education of what does actually the Coast Guard do. And they do so much. And I do know that the National Guard does a lot, but I want you to explain, because you're the best one who can explain it. We're Marine Corps spouses.
We know that you all do things domestically and internationally, which is, kind of a different thing than most of us have dealt with.
Yeah.
So,
and we have lots of girlfriends, but I don't think you ever sit down and ask, like, what is it that the service branches really do? Until now we're in this kind of atmosphere with the recognition. So what does actually the National Guard do?
So the National Guard is state-based. So we belong to the West Virginia National Guard. And they are, utilized in several different ways. For my husband being part of the unit that he is utilized much like an active duty unit would be in the Army for special forces. So their op tempo is quite intense, and he's gone, off. He does mostly the but also they do training exercises called J-sets, where he's gone for a period of 45, usually to 60 days in different locations around the globe. And they're separated, by their different areas. He's a French speaker, so, that's his talent. The National Guard is also utilized when we have, natural disasters and they're deployed. And, we have friends, not in his particular unit, but have been, sent to the borders. So it's a really unique, and I think maybe not as well known as the other branches, what their purpose, but it's such a precious resource.
It is.
Mhm.
I mean, I know what they do, especially because if you're anywhere with hurricane,
Yes.
then you know the National Guard and you get to know them very well. But I don't think that everyone, and I know that because a lot of people say they don't, they don't understand. And so thank you for explaining, because I think that a lot of our viewers are going to be, very appreciative for you taking that time. And so the other thing is, tell us a little fashion.
We need her platform too.
No, she talked about that. I know, but but I want her to get, because we talked about this last night.
Oh, okay.
Give us a little fashion tip, Samantha, because Samantha's our fashion guru.
Nice.
Oh, gosh. Fashion, I think you need to find what you're comfortable in and just rock it out. I think confidence is probably the best fashion tip you can have. Whether, I like sheath dresses. You're probably going to see a lot of sheath dresses at the conference, and you just own it. And your smile is your best thing. Look people in the eye, and it doesn't matter what you're wearing. If you're wearing it well, I think people notice. And high heels. Love high heels.
And you do. People notice. Your pictures were gorgeous. Absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
So beautiful. Okay, so back to Leslie. I squirrel off into fun land.
She tends to.
Yeah, and so she brings me back.
That's okay. That's why we work well together.
I know. Your platform. Give it to us.
Well, I think we touched a little bit what I want to do in the areas of the National Guard with, developing a stronger communication between the spouses, working to develop an FRG, but our passion really is in our nonprofit. So the Project 3-3 Memorial Foundation. And it is a nonprofit really in its infancy. We're so excited about the growth that we've seen even over the past year. And what it is it's designed to honor the lives of special soldiers killed since 11 in combat. And it was an idea that hatched from a Memorial Day picnic in 2017. And we were talking about the things that Mike has lost along the way. And our first honoree last year was Specialist Christopher Stonecipher, and he was in 375 Ranger Regiment. And he was killed on October 19th, 2001. And I never had the honor of meeting him, but he has been so present in our marriage from the wine goblets that he was given. We used at our wedding. And we have a beautiful quilt made from Mrs. Stonecipher hanging in our den. And he's just been a presence. And I think with, special operations, much of what they do is secret, classified. So you never really know the life or the story or the sacrifice surrounding their gift. So we choose to honor them. And we start in January, and we contact the families and we get pictures. And, so far last year and this year, Michael knew both of them personally. They were his friends. So we've been able to tell, tales or funny quips or get input from the family members just to let our community know who these honorable gentlemen were and what they did for us. And on Memorial Day, we have a 6.8 mile run, not a race, where the soldiers that come up with us, they run in full body armor and boots, and they're carrying flags, and we run through our town just to raise awareness. And it's not a race. There's no timer. There's no clock. We say our only rule is no runner passes the flag, because the flag represents the fallen. And if you think it's possible or to have goosebumps for 6.8 miles, it is, because people honk and they wave and they stand and they salute, and you just feel that love carry you through. It was really spectacular last year, and our plans are bigger and better for this year. This year we're honoring John J. Edmonds. He was also in 375 Ranger Regiment. He was killed the same night as Chris. They both died in a Black Hawk crash. So it's very intimate and personal a cause to us. But, as we grow, we're also looking at how can we impact local military families? How can we help? I'm really looking forward to the next 5 to 10 years to see what kind of impact we can do.
How can we help you? Because you got the run coming up in May.
Yep.
And you are a nonprofit. So if any of our viewers are here in the National Guard or the military that want to support you, do you have a website?
So it's project33foundation.org is our website. All the donations, 100% of the donations go to the family. So last year, with Christopher Stonecipher, his mother requested that the donations be forwarded to the Gary Sinise Foundation. And my goodness, if you don't know about Mr. Sinise, you need to take a minute and just look at the foundation, because he is such a wonderful gentleman with a heart of gold, making such an impact for military families across the country. At the top of my bucket list is to meet him. And I don't know how I would encompass my gratitude into a handshake and a thank you. So I'd probably ask permission to give him a hug if he would allow. But he's just someone very, very important to our hearts and souls. So we try to emulate his actions on how can we help. So donations this year are going to John's wife and 3 children, Ann Edmonds and their kids. And so, any little bit helps.
So can you please send me any of those links? That way we can tag it with this post and reach out to our community, because we do always have people who want to give and contribute. And I would love for them to contribute to your organization.
Yeah, absolutely.
On
the website, we have pictures of John. We have a bit of his backstory, so you can get to know him. And just real hero, just a hero.
That's good to know, because they can go on the website and go back, and it gave me chill bumps.
Yeah, it does when you really see what they gave up for us, to enjoy freedoms and continue to do so.
Exactly.
And what I think makes yours so unique is, I think that our country and certainly our military community honors our Gold Star families, but you're taking it another step further, where you're actually getting to know the person. They're, you're getting to know them, and I think that's really impactful and special. And congratulations on
you
your
love
efforts.
her, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah, no, we have big things. Unfortunately, we have a long list of friends that have been lost, and we just lost another one last week. So we're committed. We're dedicated. I don't want people to forget them or their story. So we're just going to
You're just getting started. That's what you're doing.
Getting started.
Just getting started.
Well, I think we need to do a cheers.
Yes,
to Samantha
Samantha
Jo.
Our mimosas. We know you're on the job today, being doctor. So I'll drink for you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for allowing us to share your story and highlight how special you are. Because I know how special you are, but now everybody else gets to know. I got Samantha Jo. And I don't know. We're not even talking about last names. No one. No, I think that's okay, right?
If she's good with that, we're all good with
We're
that.
all good with that.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks, and us having a really great time in DC together.
And congratulations again on being named
2019 Armed Forces Insurance National Guard Spouse of the Year.
Yep. Can we raise that?
Yeah.
I never make New Year's resolutions ever. And this year I did. And my one resolution was thrive, not survive. Boy.
You're thriving, baby.
I tried. So all blessings. I'm really excited about the year ahead.
I'm excited for you too. Very, very excited.
Well,
Yep.
thank you again. And I think we're going to sign off for now.
Our tagline, military home base is tagline. We're bringing you home one base at a time.
Everybody have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. So slow. I know it's ending very soon.